Hello, girls. Today, we are starting a practical session together. I have washed my face, my hands are clean, and I still have an infection. Remember, I repeat once again, always have tissues with you. Let's begin by warming up the chest muscles a little. We take our fists, grab these parts, our bones, and start with warming movements, using both hands or one, pressing actively into the bony structures to create a somewhat uncomfortable sensation. It shouldn't be pleasant because we are working with muscle structures. We work through here, right in the middle, and warm this area well. You can use one hand or both, going right in here where the armpit is. Now we take our fingers, the pads of our fingers, place them in the middle, and push. Pressing down on the rib cage and moving the tissues, all the structures towards the armpit, just like this, because the lymph flows through there, and it's very important that we work on these areas too, to activate them so that our muscles wake up and start working for us, looking beautiful and youthful. And in the other direction, you can perform all the movements and arrange them in a way that is convenient for you. You don't necessarily have to do the entire set of exercises every day. If you feel like it, you can reach your hand here to massage while you watch television. You can always refer to this. It is not necessary to do this specifically in the morning or to focus on just one part. You can do it throughout the day, for example, at work or while you are driving. I will tell you more about this later and show you. Now we move on to the clavicle. We place one finger under the clavicle and another above it, pressing inward. Here we also drain the lymph, and with pressing movements we work well on our clavicle. We activate the lymph. We need to free the lymph nodes so that there is something to drain from the face, allowing it to drain, and preventing swelling on the face. Another part. A lot of neck muscles also attach near the clavicle. It is important to work on this area well. There may be some unpleasant pain sensations here. Concentrate on this sensation, stop and try to just feel it. Press into this area again. Next, we move to our neck. We engage the sternocleidomastoid muscles. They are located right here. We lift one side, tilting the head towards that part so that the muscle is relaxed. And in this way, with gentle movements for now, we are gently awakening it. We awaken it a little with these circular movements. I massage it. I pass directly under the corner of the face where the ear is located and then go down. The same thing on the other side. We are waking her up well, for now. Now we will continue to stretch. We can lift and stretch all the muscles located on our face to restore their natural length and elasticity. The skin does not stretch from such techniques. Beyond their natural length, it is simply logically impossible, just like the muscles. Muscles return to their natural state much faster than the skin. So give it a little time for everything to activate and you will definitely see quick results. Now, we will roll this little sausage around, work on it, and warm up the skin a bit. I pick up the skin structures, which can be done with both hands so that it doesn't take up too much of your time. We just knead it like this. Knead it. These are the miner's rings that we have on the neck. These are also anatomical features that everyone has. Even babies are born with them. What can we do? We can soften it so that it is less noticeable. Yes, you may feel what is under your skin, the structures, and you might feel more subcutaneous fat in some areas, or less in others, depending on how it is positioned. You should work along these lines, these points, and actively massage them well. And the other side, you can also perform this technique not just in the morning, but also while you are watching television or even when you have a few free moments to do something special for yourself. We warm up well. You can use both hands or just one. My hands are down. I am not rubbing my shoulders. Please pay attention to your posture so that your shoulders are even. We don't do such movements either. Your arms will get tired quickly. That's why my hands are positioned as low as possible. The elbow is pressed against my body, and I am working, performing the massage. Now, we can capture the rolling sausage. We are working only on the sides. Our thyroid is located here. I will show you right away. We do not work in this area, but we can work on what is above, yes, with some kneading movements. In this area this is not the place to show. This is not allowed. The thyroid is located here. Let's not disturb it or do anything with it. We can work with the sides, so I pick up a little roll and roll it upwards. You may not get everything right the very first time, but slightly. Those who take action will always succeed, so don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. And try to feel yourself as much as possible. We move to another area, also picking up and working through it in the process. Let's move up. I can do this with one hand, as I have already gotten used to it. But I advise you to work with 2 fingers. I have effective pushing with my thumbs. They push all the subcutaneous structures upwards, and I have the other 4 fingers as helpers. I sort of go through them, helping. So great. Now let's return to our muscles. Sternum, clavicular, mastoid. What I am doing now is activating them, awakening them, and now I am trying to stretch them a little to the side. I gently catch them with my finger, trying to feel, and I lower the ear. And in this way, I slightly pull. You can close your eyes and focus on what is happening there, on what you are feeling. Thus, with gentle pulling movements, I gently stretch the side. Great. Let's move on to another part. We pick it up. Here it is. We catch it, close our eyes, we don't wrinkle our forehead, we don't raise our eyebrows, and we don't use other muscles to help. Try to relax, breathe, freely and with focus, and stay calm and collected. What's happening over there? Can I catch her or not? I'm not able to, but we're trying. You will definitely succeed. I also struggled at one time to do a lot of exercises related to the face. So we are stretching it a little bit. We are slightly stretching the side. Great, wonderful. Now let's move on to our facial contour. Let's release some lymph. Here, the lymphatic cases are located at an angle under the lower jaw. We use the pads of our fingers there. I noticed that the nails should be trimmed. They shouldn't be long because you won't be able to perform such a facial massage with long nails, as they will get in the way. But if you have long nails, try to adjust and work around it. I use the pads of my fingers, tilt my head to the side, and gently work on the corner, trying to do a bit of pumping, to release everything that has accumulated in our lymph from the cases, and then move to the other side. I will turn around. Look, that's where we start working on the containers. Very gently, we carefully work on our lymphatic casings. All right, wonderful. Now let's move on to the contour of our lower jaw. I make such a careful pinch. I place my thumbs gently under the facial area of the oval of the face. I place my upper fingers and make slow, diverting movements. It is very important that you perform all techniques as precisely and slowly as possible. We do not care about speed. We do not care about a large amplitude in performing any massage technique. What matters to us is the precise, local work on this area. We also do not forget that we are pressing these structures and moving them to the side. You can gently tilt your head down, relax, and slowly close your eyes, and then exhale one more time, and exhale. You can simply run your fingers along the lower oval of the lower jaw. This is how you can start and massage. You can use 2 fingers at once. I tilt my head slightly forward to create more space for my fingers to go in, closing my eyes. And we definitely work on it. You can also absolutely use this method. We place 2 fingers and work on it carefully. I also press down well. I am currently actively working on it. I am not doing it too lightly at the moment. Sufficiently active enough for us to reach all our muscles and structures. Great, wonderful. Let's move on to the chin. I'm grabbing the chin. I drew it for you, right? There are 2 bellies like this here. I grab the dough firmly with both hands and just knead it thoroughly. I find that doing it this way works best for me. I am kneading it to make it smooth and elastic and making it ready for baking. We awaken and also actually activate the chin. Indeed, the chin holds a lot of tension in the face. And often, because we psychologically clench our jaw, the lips and the chewing muscles are affected, which causes our chin to always be in such tension, and often it is painful. We press it down well like this. You can carefully place your fingers on the chin with your fingertips, and then press down firmly and gently. If it hurts a lot, close your eyes, breathe through the pain, release it from yourself, don't tense up, pay attention to your posture, and try to let go of everything that has accumulated in your face, all the tightness. Great, let's move on to our lips. Now I will show you. We will grab the lips and make movements like this, pulling away. You kind of gently pull the lips away from the face, and at the same time I firmly squeeze my fingers as much as possible and manage to make a wonderful, circular rolling movement. Try it again, and we will move on to our chewing. Muscles, activating them a bit more as well. As I showed, our chewing muscles are located near the ear, at the angle of the facial part of the skull. You will find the cheekbone here. Feel for the cheekbones on our cheeks, and that's where it intertwines. This intertwining can be called its ending. Now what we will do is place our fingers at the angle of the chewing muscle. We will find this angle and slowly open the mouth while carefully pulling up with our fingers towards the cheekbone. So, take a look. We slowly and carefully open the mouth and I gently raise my finger, leading it upwards. Slowly. I will show it once more. What is important about this? Also, with pressing movements using the pads of my fingers, I press on the muscles, squeezing them as much as you are able to. And even if you feel a slight pain, that is also good. Let's move on to our part, which involves the depressors that pull the corners of the lips down. We can also find this muscle. Here it is, right? This muscle. I find it and try to awaken it from the bony structures as well. Why? When it shortens, it adheres to the bony structures. It is important for us to restore its elasticity so that it is not so straight, but rather wraps around our bony structures, and thus creating that very volume of natural youth and beauty in a way that is full of grace and elegance. I lift it gently and carefully with my hands, trying to feel it. You can also gently knead the other side with your fingers, and carefully. Great! Now we have done it. What we can do now is place our fingers in a lock position at the corners of the mouth. The corners of the mouth. We are relaxed. We can tilt our head down. The movement is directed towards the chewing muscles. I gently press and carefully pull the outer corners of the lips. I lower my head, grasp slightly, and pull. Let all your muscles be relaxed. Breathe, you can close your eyes. Also, perform this massage technique several times. Next, we move on to find the wing of the nose, placing 2 fingers right here, digging into the wing of the nose and working on it. This is exactly the area where our nasolabial fold forms. I also tilt my head forward and press in here with the pads of my fingers. I bury myself there and make such a low vibration movement a bit more. I try to palpate. This is the trigger point. We are now going to these pain points. These are the points where the attachment is and from where it shortens. It is always very painful. I press down and try to dig in. When we have located it and slightly activated it, we begin to make draining movements with our fingertips, moving away from the nose. Yes, I don't do it on half of the face. I practically do it in place, as if I am flipping my finger from one part to another. And we just go along the entire nose like this. Let's proceed. Yes, we move up and down where the wing of the nose is slightly. We make draining movements with our fingers, pads, and actively press down gently. Super. Great. We have activated it, and after that, with a transitioning movement, we go over the entire nose, gently smoothing and pressing down, moving under the cheekbone and pulling everything towards the ear, draining everything that I have caught here and directing it towards the ear. One more time. We just go over the entire nose carefully a little bit, and we make a draining movement towards the ear. Now the other side. We go along the entire nose. Everything is relaxed. If you can't breathe through your nose, breathe softly through your mouth and under the cheekbone. I will continue to press, placing my hand near the nose. Wide rolls form. There are many flowing vessels near the nose, including venous outflow, blood flow, and lymphatic drainage. And that's why we always have this issue, especially since we spend most of our time upside down. This part, for a large part of the day, accumulates everything, and our structures seem to move towards the center. Therefore, it is important to always drain everything and capture as much as possible. Nothing will happen, so don't worry, you won't stretch the muscles or the skin. On the contrary, your skin will become firmer, acquire a resilient state, and the pores on your face will tighten. Great! Now I want to work on your forehead. The forehead is very important to me. It is a brilliantly cool exercise. We remember our bones that we massaged in the chest area. We also take the bones of the hand and start making such massaging, pressing movements. We close our eyes and massage. We also go into the hair area. The beginning of hair growth. It is a very painful sensation, but it feels really great. You will definitely see the results on your forehead. It will just look amazing and shine from this exercise. There's really nothing more to come up with. After this technique, everyone usually feels as if they have been enlightened. Their eyes fill up, and there is an increase in brightness. You can also massage the temple area, but more gently. Wonderful. Why do we always start with the forehead muscles and then move on to the eyes? Because the brow arches are structures that usually press down on the eyes, on the circular eye muscles. We first need to work on the forehead, and then we move on to work on the circular eye muscles. Also, the temporal area. The temporal area is located right here. It is responsible for the drooping eyelid. It takes on 50% of the load from chewing, while the other 50% is from the temporal area, because it is constantly in a tense state. We are always chewing something or holding back certain emotions, so it is very important to relax this area as well. We'll get to the sand later. At the very end, I'll show you. So we are going to the brow arches. We lift our eyebrows. What do? We simply use these lifting movements, yes, lifting, catching movements, to detach from the bony structures. No matter how this word tear off sounds, in reality it sounds like nothing. 100% in understanding what is happening. So we massage, we move to another area, we do the same thing. Everything is just relaxed. Try to relax your eyes a bit and not to strain. Wonderful. Now we will find another trigger point, where the eyebrow growth zone begins, which is crucial for our process. We carefully and precisely locate this point, which is very painful and extremely sensitive, right at the very start of the eyebrow line. We place our finger there without moving the bony structure. We simply find this point and apply gentle pressure with the fingertip. We locate our points, tilt our head slightly forward, and massage this area with a low vibration motion. This part is specifically responsible for forming the transverse fold on the bridge of the nose. Because it is responsible for this area of our tired eyes, when the circular muscle of the eye shortens, a transverse wrinkle forms there. It is important to work on this point right here and right here. These are specifically the attachment points of the orbicularis oculi muscle. Indeed, we also work along the orbital bone. Where the eye socket is, we indeed find the bones. The side part, and I am pressing it with a low vibration movement. Close your eyes, working almost in place. I don't make pulling movements. You can do it with 2 fingers at once. Try it on yourself if that is more convenient for you. We compress these areas. You can simply press, squeeze, and breathe through it. Your eyes will definitely thank you after such techniques, especially if you work a lot and are focused on something. I can also advise that if you are looking at something very close for a long time, occasionally shift your gaze to the distance. Look, it's literally, 10 minutes of work, looking into the distance, letting your eyes rest. Then you can refocus back on your work, but make sure to remember to do this. So, further on, the temporal area. Yes, what she showed is not located right here. What I do is I start with the pads of my fingers, I engage the hair covering, and with lifting movements, I try to capture the skin in such a way that all the tissues move away from the bony structures due to the neurosis. It is also very important to avoid sticking, because when we experience sticking, everything there becomes lifeless. There is no life, and circulation and lymph drainage do not occur. Therefore, it is always important for the tissues to detach well from the bony structures. That's why I always say we are pulling off, we are tearing away, and so on. But this maximally describes the state that needs to be achieved in order to. So, we definitely lift, and we can try once more again. So, you can close your eyes and let's work. You can just go straight from, yes, like those fox-like eyes. Here is the temporal part. It starts from here and goes this way. Like this, we start moving our fingers. And now we are going to lift our eyebrows up to reduce puffiness. Once again, I use careful and pressing movements to gently work the hair covering, the tendinous helmet. I just simply bring my fingers in and work on it like this. You can tilt your head down with your shoulders relaxed. This is an incredibly pleasant exercise. These techniques are very comfortable, and you won't harm yourself or the muscles at all. On the contrary, the skin, face, and muscles will thank you greatly. Now, let's move on to our eyes. You can massage around the eyes in this way, capturing all the structures. Some people may have puffiness under their eyes, as I do in this case, because I have a slender aging type. I also engage all the structures under the eye. We can work on this area. Now I will tell you where we shouldn't. We lift it in this way, with rubbing movements that are quite compressive. I rub this area, then also bury my fingers and continue to move. I do the same rubbing movements where it's not allowed to work near the eyes. Right now, I'll show you. Yes, here you can feel a very gentle indentation, a kind of hollow in the skeletal structure. Yes, this is where a vein runs through, specifically designed for our anatomy and so on. There are special channels and indentations, and there is such a notch in the bone structures. I also want to explain why we are working so actively. While I speak, we will do it once more. Why do we do this so actively? The thing is, our bones are also alive, and we need to reach and massage the bones as well. Because with age, there is movement in the bones, and to prevent that, our bones also need care. They need massage and circulation. So, do it actively enough. And then we move on to another part. Carefully picking up the skin structures and making a gentle rubbing motion, moving further and doing the same gradually. Yes, here you can see where there is more subcutaneous fat and where there is less. I also do it with just 2 fingers. Maybe it will be convenient for you too. Try to grab it and rub it like this. And I move the temporal area gently and carefully like this. I lift it quite actively and precisely. And with this squeezing massage technique, I move directly along the temple and there, gently in a circular motion to provide a soothing and relaxing effect, to relieve tension. And the other part picked it, squeezed it, and with this kind of sausage-like motion I move along the temporal area. After the massage, you may notice that there might be a slight swelling. This is normal. It will subside and everything will be fine. After the massage, I also recommend that you apply some kind of mask. Right after the massage, I will definitely apply one. Next, I rinse off the mask and apply the rest of my home care routine. This includes serum, cream, and so on. Yes, if it's daytime, I apply SPF for sun protection. But in the evening, you might have your own beauty ritual, taking care of yourself. So, one more time. Let me just place my fingers again, and I will find a few more trigger points. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Yes, this is when I show that the corner of the mouth intertwines with the circular muscle of the eye. Here it is. The same thing I do by tilting my head forward, placing my fingers, finding it, and making a slight vibrating movement. We gently massage and activate this area under the eyes so that the muscle returns to its natural state. Great. You can simply make a movement that drains the lymph slightly and carefully. Stretch as much as you can, nothing will happen. One more time, close your eyes and go down. We move away from the tip and go down. We wipe our hands, or are they warmed up on the lips? And gently place it on our eyes. We thank ourselves for taking the time to care for and love ourselves and our muscles. They will surely thank you. Thank you for watching, for your attention. Love yourself, take care of yourself, and remember that you are the only one you have. I wish you a wonderful time of day.